RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Oh man, wrong camera. All right. Yes, I have the Skype set up because we're going to be calling Ron Placone very soon. Hello, everybody. How's it going? This is Tara Devlin, unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity, and this is our regularly scheduled Friday evening get together. And yeah, thank you for hanging out. If you're on any other platform, if you're watching on, I don't know, Discord, I don't know, where the hell else are we? We're a few places. Well, if you're Rokfin is one of the places. You could stay at Rokfin if you like. But you can come and join us in the chat room at youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. Yes, we got the cats sleeping behind us. We got Tara Jr. and Francis Jr. I know he's been sleeping behind us a lot. Tara Jr. Booty is running around here somewhere. Little Boudica. So, alrighty. So, yeah, we meet here every Friday evening. This is our regular Friday get-together, 8:30-ish p.m. I'm a little bit late, so thank you for your indulgence, and thank you, Jim, for your super chat. If you can become a patron, please do at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. That'll help keep the show going and growing. We also have a PayPal donation and link in the description if you'd like to contribute to the show to keep it going, you know. All right. So I'm going to call Ron at around a quarter after, I told him, because I was running late. So in the meantime, because Ron has, you know how Ron Placone is. He's an activist, and he's very passionate about his lane, which is basically the technology, internet and technology. That's what I mean. We all have our little niche. I respect him because he really does put his money where his mouth is, and he focuses on his on the things that he feels like he can effectively manifest some change in a positive direction. I think. Yeah, I mean, there's so many battles to fight. This is certainly one of them, especially the internet. So Ron is going to call in, and we're going to do a Skype, and we'll talk about the latest round in bad internet bills, because we're going to have a week of action, and there are things you can do, including calling your representatives. And because while everything else is on fire, while the dumpster fire continues to roll on, unabated, these bad bills are they certainly do, they do slip in under the radar. So we got to be very cautious, and we've discussed many frustrating things before, including the fact that we don't have an FCC chair like Gigi Sohn had. They hounded her until she finally dropped out of the nomination. But it was also the Democrats who, Chuck Schumer in particular, didn't push a vote. He could have brought Gigi Sohn up for a vote, and before numerous cutoff points, but yeah. I guess after a while, she was like, F this. I mean, I'm not in her shoes. I wish she hadn't done that. But I guess after a while, you're like, who can deal with this shit, So I got to get on with my life. All right. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for Ron, because he really knows the subject, so I'm going to wait for him to delve into it. Well, let's touch base again because Tom Hartman was on the show on Wednesday, and that was an absolute pleasure, I thought, with his book, The Hidden History of American Democracy. If you haven't picked it up yet, please get it. It's reasonably priced. It's an afternoon read at the beach. If you want to arm yourself with it really is a concise history of the Enlightenment and democracy in America. So, but also we were discussing, many things on that show. If you guys were there, I know the people in the chat room were there. I see the crew like Terry and Haiku and Jim and Kathy and Ed. Thank you guys for hanging out, and Pookie's mama and JD. So, and more will be joining us. So, but if, in case you weren't here, we were discussing Perjury Trader Green and her latest stunt of showing. I mean, is it a stunt? I mean, it's just the bottom. Just when you think you hit bottom, the trap door opens and you're down another 5 levels into Dante's 15th circle of hell. And this is where we are with the Republicans. I don't really. I got to give some of the Democrats a lot of credit. Some of our new freshman Democrats in the House, like Jasmine Crockett, who is incredible, and Representative Moskowitz. They are amazing MVPs coming up, who are unapologetic with their retorts to the clown show. But I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they maintain their composure. You guys know I have high blood pressure, and I think my blood pressure couldn't take it. And Jonathan, nice to see you, Jonathan, in the chat room. Thank you for hanging out. So I don't want to miss anybody, of course. If you're there, say hello, raise your hand. So anyway, so Perjury Trader Green, and when we think she can't get any lower, she shows revenge porn on the House, in a House committee. And, one of the things I saw, I was watching some of the responses of the Democrats, and we discussed this too on the show, saying that, regardless of what you think, Hunter Biden is a human being. So you have really absolutely, you're just cruel, and you're basically, they think they embarrass Hunter Biden, and I'm sure he is embarrassed. But the fact is, those pictures that he had, they were on his private property, and they were stolen from his private property. And, now every time a Republican disseminates these images, they're committing a crime. Now, I'm sure that Perjury Trader Green, she thinks that she can hide behind this speech and debate clause, where I guess it means that representatives they're not accountable. There's no consequences for their actions. But I would think that it would it's sort of like the attorney-client privilege or executive privilege. When executive privilege, which Trump always likes to talk about, when you're when you're hiding behind executive privilege in the commission, so you can commit a crime, it doesn't count anymore. You can't hide behind attorney-client privilege or executive privilege if you're conspiring to commit a crime. So, same thing I would think with this Perjury Trader Green and her, showing porn on the House floor. So here's
Biden paid for this woman making
AOC at the end, she kind of says what we were saying on the show.
Low. When pornographic images were paraded in this hearing room. Chairman Comer, last October, you told Time magazine that you were not interested in the sordid details of Hunter Biden's life. You were quoted as saying, quote, "That's counter to a credible investigation," and I agree. Sadly, that is a reflection of how low some individuals here have been willing to go in their efforts to attack the president and his family. And frankly, I don't care who you are in this country. No one deserves that.
Yeah.
It is abuse.
It
It is abusive. If Republicans truly want to get to the fact here, and they want to understand why Mr. Weiss decided to charge Hunter Biden the way he did, let's hear from Mr. Weiss.
Exactly.
But until then, we must move on from these theories and focus on the issues that matter to the American people, like ending the scourge of gun violence that is plaguing our country.
Exactly.
Confronting and combating the climate crisis and standing up for our constitutional rights. And yes, going after the enormous amount of inequity and injustice in our tax system. And with that, I yield back to the chair.
But she's 100% correct, though. It's abuse. You're abusing a private citizen. But they have no, they have no standards. There's no low too low for these right wingers, and they bring nothing to the table. So what does the show? What does Hunter Biden's nudes on a laptop that they stole off of a laptop, I should say, have to do with anything? What do they have to do with the fact that Trump is, in the midst of now a third indictment that's coming down the pike for being an effing traitor? What does that have to do with anything? So one of the things that we speculated on the show because on Wednesday, when it was the day that perjury trader Green had inflicted her stunt on America, and we were wondering, I hope that there's going to be consequences. I hope that Hunter Biden responds to this somehow. So, according to the Washington Post and other places, Hunter Biden's attorney on Friday requested that a congressional ethics panel take action against perjury trader Green, citing that her use of sexually explicit images of the president's son that she displayed during a congressional hearing, citing these sexually explicit photographs, which, again, were stolen off of his private property. Your colleague has lowered herself and by extension the entire House of Representatives to a new level of aberrant behavior abhorrent behavior, not just aberrant, which, both applies, that blatantly violates health ethics rules and standards of official conduct, said Abby Lowell in a 4-page letter sent to the Office of Congressional Ethics. If the OCE takes its responsibilities seriously, it will promptly and decisively condemn and discipline Ms. Green for her latest actions. Lowell wrote that he was updating an earlier request sent in April that sought an investigation into various comments that Green had made about Hunter Biden. That letter cited social media posts in which Green baselessly accused the 53-year-old Biden of being linked to an Eastern prostitution or human trafficking ring, which is what she reiterated again in the House committee hearing. She had also posted photos of Hunter Biden driving his niece and her cousin in the president's convertible, falsely alleging that he was on crack and with prostitutes. You see what a dirtbag she is? And this is the same dirtbag, this perjury trader Green, who randomly on different so-called Christian holidays, she professes her Christianity. She proclaims herself to be a follower of Jesus Christ. She except, her Jesus is incredibly small and bigoted and hateful like she is. And the only holy obligation that her sick, twisted version of Jesus ever requires of her is to be a gay basher or trans basher or just be a horrible person. I mean, she's got that down pat. It's almost hard to comprehend how horrible these people are. I mean, how can people be this horrible and be in positions of power? It's really, to me, it's disgusting. It says everything about us as a nation, but just like her antics, they don't say, they don't really, I mean, they don't shame Hunter Biden. He's already been shamed. They shame her. She shames herself, you see, but she has no ability to feel shame. So I doubt that she can comprehend that. It speaks volumes about who she is and how she has nothing to offer. So, let's see. Green's office did not immediately respond did not respond to a request for comment. On Wednesday, Green went a step further and used more prominent public platform than she had previously. The House Oversight and Accountability Committee was hearing testimony that day from 2 IRS employees who had been part of the federal investigation into Hunter Biden's tax returns. Not sure what this had to do with seeing Hunter Biden's dick, but Republicans are very sick, you see. They are obsessed with seeing seeing genitals, seeing the Democrats in the nude, seeing their genitals, having their penises described. I mean, this was all in the Starr report, too. They wanted to talk all about Bill Clinton's penis. You see? This is how sick they are. But it's all that whole thing with Bill Clinton's penis and the Starr report. That was also they wanted to make it incredibly graphic when he was investigating Monica Lewinsky and Clinton's extramarital affair. Who cares? No, even at the time, nobody gave a crap. That was between him and his wife, not between, the American people. Most of the American people, in fact, at the time, didn't, they were like, who cares? But that's why at the time, the Republicans, if you remember, were proclaiming it was all about rule of law. As if they are all about the rule of law. I mean, I know how funny that is. But the law, it only applies if you're a Democrat. They use law just like they use democracy, and they use the Constitution, and they use, the trappings of the of civilization. They manipulate, they fix the facts around the policy, and selectively apply laws for whatever agenda they're trying to advance. And the agenda is the end of democracy. Ultimately, it really is. That's why they wanted to give descriptions of graphic descriptions of sex acts that Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky engaged in. They wanted to make it as graphic as possible because they want to debase the country as much as possible. You see, in order to destroy democracy, you have to denigrate it. You have to devalue and debase it for the dumbasses who are stupid enough and racist enough and ugly enough on the inside to vote for you. Hold on. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong here? So let's see. The House, so the House Oversight Committee was meeting about tax return, Hunter Biden's tax returns. Now, you want to talk about tax returns? We could talk about the tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man with the fake university and the vitamin scam, the one who received fewer votes 2 times and will, if all goes according to plan, will be receiving fewer votes a 3rd time. So he's the biggest loser. So let me see. Trump tax. We know Trump. I think 1 year he paid less than $700. Not just 1 year, multiple years. Return. Let me look this up. 700. Hold on. Let's see. Yes, Trump paid. $750. You want to talk about tax returns now? We, in this oversight committee, the Democrats were masterful at exposing what a clown show the Republicans were putting on. That they bring no receipts. That everything is just to fix the facts around the policy. It's to concoct this, just a bullshit for their dumbasses, all to distract from the fact that they are that in a cult, and their dim leader is a traitor and a con man who they are doing the bidding of this horrible traitorous grifter who never did a damn thing for humanity in his useless waste of human DNA life. Yeah. So the Democrats got the so-called whistleblowers, which, Republicans seem to be very confused at what a whistleblower is. Whistleblowers aren't just disgruntled employees. There's an actual status that you can seek. You can seek and apply for protected whistleblower status. Of course, these Republicans and their clowns never go. They never do, because they're not whistleblowers. They're not bringing anything. They're not blowing the whistle on anything. They just, in fact, what we found out with these IRS agents, with that their complaints stemmed from incidences that happened during the Trump administration. So give me a break. But anyway, don't let facts get in the way, Republicans. But the Democrats got them to admit that most citizens, you want to talk about Hunter Biden getting a cushy deal. The fact is, the people aren't even charged with what Hunter Biden was charged with. I mean, these wouldn't be prosecuted cases. Especially if somebody, paid their taxes. He, like many Americans, there's that compassionate conservatism. He was in the grips of active addiction and didn't pay his taxes. So, and then he paid his taxes, and he lied about being an addict and was able to get a firearm in spite of the fact that he was an addict. Yes, because that's what if you really want to go through all the gun permits in the country and take guns away from everyone who's an active addict or alcoholic, please do. Because I can pretty much guarantee you that somebody, I'm telling you, half these maggots who are in the grips of addiction, You think they're gonna say that on a form when they're applying to get a permit, if they even apply for permits? Who knows, right? So anyway, you want to know about you want to be upset about taxes. I mean, the fact that a filthy so-called billionaire paid $750 in federal income taxes. I paid more. You paid more than that. This is an outrage. This is an abomination. These people are clowns. Okay, if only they had if they were sincere, we might be able to take them seriously, but their outrage only gets triggered when somebody has a D after their name, or they can somehow fit into their fascist agenda. For example, yes, I see people on the chat talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Yes, exactly. So they using Robert F. Kennedy Jr., bringing that asshole into a hearing. Now, according to Republicans, if you're fact checked, then your freedom of speech is being violated. You have a First Amendment right to never be told that you're full of shit, I suppose. Otherwise, it's a violation of the Constitution. It's incredible. But that's Robert F. Kennedy Jr., what a joke. He's a tool to be used. He has to know that he is being used by these filthy fascists, and to allow himself to be used is a goddamn disgrace. And if I saw a picture of him, where is this? RFK with Michael Flynn and who else? Steve Bannon. Like, all these awful people. What are you doing with these people? Yeah, here it is. Here's the picture. Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, and Michael Flynn. Not Steve Bannon. He's not in the picture. He might be taking the picture. Who knows? Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, and Michael Flynn spent months encouraging R.F. Kennedy Jr. to run against President Biden in the 2024 election. Bannon hoped RFK Jr. could serve as a useful chaos agent in the election. And then RFK Jr. just says, sure. It's like he's like the Dr. Oz of this election cycle or something. I don't know. As someone encouraged him to run. Why would you listen to these traitors? Michael Flynn is a traitor who got pardoned. Roger Stone is a traitor who received a pardon from the con man. Steve Bannon, another fucking traitor who got a pardon from the con man. The whole damn thing is a grift. And here comes Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And then he has the nerve, as if we don't have eyes, ears, don't have the ability to Google shit. As he says, what did he say? Oh, he's not an anti-vaxxer. Excuse me? He's been anti-vax. I remember when he was on Ring of Fire, he was an anti-vaxxer. And that was one thing that annoyed the shit out of me. I guess we can all thank these anti-vaxxers for the fact that, polio is making a comeback. Malaria and diseases, measles too. Measles, mumps, polio. All these things we thought we eradicated. Thank you, right-wingers. You see, everything conservatives touch turns to shit. And then you get these, I don't know, is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is he a liberal? I think he's a kook. Clearly, if you're a liberal, you wouldn't be you wouldn't allow yourself to be used so blatantly and so obviously by a bunch of effing traitors. You know? For real. You're a disgrace. And what else? Oh, he said that, what did he say about COVID was designed to not affect Ashkenazi Jews? Let's see. All right. Which is, of course, another one of these right-wing racist conspiracy theories. Okay. Isn't that unbelievable? And then apparently his statement was he took offense that we would all call him a dangerous racist after that ridiculous racist, let's see, statement. I mean, what is the difference between whether it comes out of his mouth or the mouth of the KKK? It's the same message. All right, hold on. Let's see. So what did he say exactly? RFK Jr. condemned over false claims that COVID-19 was ethnically targeted. Yes, this is the stuff that goes on right-wing, propaganda outlets. So what did he say? Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is facing widespread criticism from political leaders and civil rights organizations after a video surfaced of him making false claims that COVID-19 itself was ethnically targeted to attack certain ethnic groups while sparing Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people. Right? Oh, the China virus. And I guess the Jewish, the eternal Jew, the conspiracy where, they run everything and the poor put upon Nazis are just protecting themselves from genocide by committing genocide. COVID-19, this is what he said. There is an argument that it is ethnically targeted. I mean, right there. That's it. That's it, Hang it up, buddy. It's like you're the kook at the end of the bar. You back away slowly. Okay, thank you. Have a nice night. You don't engage with the kook at the end of the bar. You just let him ramble. You smile and nod and just back out of the room. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. Now, where the fuck are you getting that? Besides your ass. Obviously, it's coming right out of your ass. But it's just a disgusting, dangerous, racist statement that these right-wingers, these Nazis, are gonna, they're gonna grab onto and run with it. They'll say, see, look, I told you. And this is why we're in this boat. With people, we're so divided. Why are we so divided? Because we have morons like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. being manipulated by traitors, spreading dangerous and hateful, divisive lies that are meant to divide people. People are people. Human beings are human beings. Races? What? The race is a construct, as we know. So you can have a virus that is genetically engineered to spare Ashkenazi Jews. It's so disgustingly malinformed and evil, frankly. I guess that's the word I'm looking for, because it is. That's evil in a nutshell. Because what you're setting up human beings into not just this bullshit race as a construct. It is. Race is a construct. So to say that there's a virus that that somebody that I guess the Jews engineered to spare themselves is so wrong on every level, including science, that we can only ascribe it to the fact that he's evil. Is he stupid? Or is he just plain evil? What, I mean, if you really believe that, you gotta be dumb. But so you would think he's a little bit not that dumb, I thought, but something like that, to say something like that, to even think that, and to spread that into the consciousness of people who are easily led, with using his platform and his status and his name, the as some of the Democrats on the committee said, the storied Kennedy name is being he's just disgracing it, but it's malpractice. It's filth. It's absolute Nazi filth. If it has the same, ideology as the Nazis, I mean, is it a Nazi? I mean, this is a Nazi statement. Let me see here.
And we need to talk about bioweapons.
Bioweapons.
Well, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and the technology that we now have to develop these.
There's people listening to him.
We've put.
They're probably just like, can I just have a glass of wine and get the fuck out of here?
Hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted.
Ethnically targeted.
The same thing.
Oh no, they're shaking their heads.
COVID-19
in
there's
agreement.
An argument that it is ethnically targeted.
There's an argument from who? From Steve Bannon? Steve Bannon and Michael Flynn gave you an argument that it's ethnically targeted? Sick. Absolutely sick. All right, it's about that time. Let me see if I can get Ron on the horn over here. Let me see. We're going to Skype. Bing bong boom.
Hey, how are you?
All right. It's hold on a second here. Trying to get you in here. Where the fuck is my... Okay, there you are. Okay, we're here. We're queer. Get used to it. All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you just
All right,
fine.
good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Guy,
Cool.
Let me see. Everybody on the chat, can you hear us? I'm sure you can. I'm sure they can. All right. So how you doing? How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? Good to
I'm
see you.
all
How are
right.
the cats?
They're good. I have a fourth cat now. I know.
You have a fourth
I
cat.
know. I have. Where is she? Boudica.
And her name is Booty.
Her name is Boudica.
Love it.
But I call her little
Love
baby
it.
Booty.
I love it.
Yeah,
Boudica.
it's kind of an occupational hazard from doing the animal rescues, and
I hear you. I mean, I'm trying to do more stuff with my shelter, like more volunteering. They actually, you have to go through a lot before they let you
really?
volunteer.
good.
Yeah, you
That's
have
good
to
know. though.
It is good, but on the same note, it's like there's one day a month where you can do
Right.
it.
Well, what do they
And
want
for the
you to do though?
Well, first you do like an online training, which is no big deal. It's on a Saturday morning, but whatever. And then you have to do an in-person training, which sounds like it's
Really?
no big deal, and really it isn't, but it's literally offered like once a month.
Huh?
And for the longest time, it was like one of 2 days where I just couldn't do it.
Right.
Like, the worst possible days for me were Sundays and Thursdays. Any other day, I could figure out. But Sundays and Thursdays, I had set things, or if I wasn't doing those set things, it meant I was traveling. And, of course, it was once a month on a freaking Sunday. And so I'm still working on it. I'm going to make it happen. But,
what do they want you to do in person, though?
I'll find out. I haven't gotten to learn yet.
Right. Okay. No, I'm just wondering because I've done a lot of volunteer work. Not just, I mean, I volunteer now for it's called New York City Feral Cat Initiative, but I've also done volunteer at different shelters, and generally it's not that. I mean, they do have to like vet you a little bit, so you're
sure,
not
of course,
a sociopath. But yeah, I mean, it's
totally
generally not
that
that difficult. They kind of welcome the volunteers. So, but anyway, yeah,
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I walk dogs at the shelter. You got to give them some fresh air. Clean cat cages, things like that. But what would they have you do at the shelter anyway?
You don't know. A lot of the stuff you just mentioned.
Probably that.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be like a dog walker, so they do need people that are like willing to walk the dogs and stuff. Which I said I'd be happy to do that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just so
cage.
scared. Like I'll just want to take everyone home.
Yes.
And I am. I mean, I'm not trying to sound selfish here, but I'm just nervous. It'll just be really difficult.
It is
like
difficult.
Emotionally.
I know.
It's like, but you gotta realize that you're helping. You gotta realize that things are a little bit better, that you're doing it. Blah blah blah. Am I coming in sideways? By the way, I think
sideways?
I have this.
What do you mean?
Am I coming in weird, or how do I look for you?
No, you look fine. You're just a little low, I think, in the screen.
Oh, I'm low. Okay.
Yeah. Wait,
All
hold
right.
on. Here comes the music. That's fine. We're okay. I just have the music cues. Hold on. We'll be right back with Ron Placone.
I feel like I'm on.
We're back. No,
I feel like I'm on mirror setting, and I don't know how to take it off.
You're fine. I mean,
I'm
unless
good?
you think
Okay.
you're it's the opposite. Like, I know what you're saying. You think you're.
Yeah.
your
Am I
image is
coming out that
switched.
way to you or no?
No,
I'm not.
Your
Okay.
background is normal and everything. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it looks different for you than it does for me.
Maybe
That's good.
your preview or something is flipped or something.
All
you
right.
know?
Well, if you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah. No, it looks good.
All right.
And everybody says you sound great, and yeah, it's all good.
Thanks, everybody. Good to see everyone.
Thanks, everybody. So tell me what's happening with this bad internet bills. I know there's a week of action happening.
There's a week of action. So, like our Congress loves to do, they really enjoy sneaking terrible tech policy in must-pass legislation. That's how they get this stuff through. They put it in. It's these bills that nobody wants except for the tech industry. So they put it into must-pass spending bills at the end of a term. They have August recess or summer recess coming up, at the end of the month. So they're trying to tack on a couple of these terrible tech bills while people aren't paying attention. One of the ones they're definitely going to try to push through is COSA. Cooper Davis is another one. And we're still finding out like exactly what they're going to try to do because they're still, working it out themselves. So Fight for the Future, who I collaborate with, along with the ACLU and the Electronic Frontier Foundation, all launched a week of action. It started yesterday officially, but it's going into gear until July 28th, where they're telling people to tell their elected officials, we don't want these, to borrow some terminology from you, we don't want these dirty tricks. We're sick of these dirty tricks. You're trying to pass these terrible bills that nobody wants.
Right.
So people can go to badinternetbills.com and they can let their elected officials know that. We have a toolkit available for creators. It takes about a minute. You can call your elected officials. You can write them. We do ask if you are comfortable doing so, please call because it is usually the most effective. But you can write, you can email, all the tools are right there on badinternetbills.com. You can read the summaries on all these bills. I know I've talked a lot about them with you, Tara, and I've talked a lot about them on different shows. But you don't have to take my word for it. You can go right to the site, read the different things about it yourself, and you can let your elected officials know that you do not want these bills and that you're paying attention. This is basically telling them, like, hey, you think we're not paying attention to this? We are.
Yes.
So if you're going to go and you're going to try to pass this when you know none of the public wants it, we're going to remember this come next election. And, these are the types of fights that you can win. Sometimes people ask me, Ron, you're not a big electoralism guy, but why are you always so focused on policy battles? And it's like, well, because I've experienced some wins and these are things that you can win. When they are scared, when politicians are scared, it could cost them their job. You're gonna get some freaking wins. That's just how it works. Yeah. And so, I've been there before. I've had some losses too, and I'll probably have some more wins and some more losses. But when you look at comedian Adam Conover was talking about this when he was on the picket line for the WGA strike, which, of course, all that is still going on and it's only expanding. But, he said this is just an opportunity to just right one of the many wrongs in the freaking world. And that's what's going on here. If we can just grab a win here and just stop the internet from getting a little bit worse and keep it the way it is, and try to even make it better, that's a big win that goes a long way, especially when you're living in a contemporary moment where we have just had some of the hottest days on record, period. And, a lot of times people don't take a second to examine the connection between the digital movement and the climate movement, but it's totally there because technology should be a huge asset in helping us build a better world. But if we allow the internet to just continue to plummet into this, hyper-capitalist, monopolistic surveillance dystopia, well, then that's going to suck. So, please, I'm begging all your listeners, go to badinternetbills.com and make your voice heard.
So I know you mentioned COSA, and I mean, I'm looking at the site now, and it's just how many of these bills are these all going into different, like the Defense Authorization Act and all these other. Well,
right now we don't know exactly what they're going to try. I mean, presumably it's not going to be all those, but but COSA you've been hearing a lot about. They're really going to try for COSA because keep in mind they've been trying for COSA for years now. I mean, they've renamed it a bunch of different times. Right. They've reintroduced it. Now they're calling it, the kids, the Keep Kids Safe Online
Kids
Act.
Online Safety Act.
Because when you just hear that, who wouldn't be for that?
Right. Yeah.
But then you read what it really does, and it's like, oh no, it actually, it imposes theocratic fascism on our children. Yeah. And it makes life more difficult for the LGBTQ community. Right. And it just basically burns encryption and messaging. So it doesn't keep anyone safe online. Not kids, not anyone else. It's just a disaster. Yeah. So
because it says how they explain it is that it will wipe the net of anything deemed inappropriate for minors. Yeah. And we know what that is code word for now. It's anti-trans, anti-gay, and anti anything that has to do with race or discussion of race or bigotry in any form, reality, history. It's just it's just getting worse, really. But
I mean, and that's that's the truth. And the Heritage Foundation said the quiet part out loud. I think I talked about that on your show as well. The Heritage Foundation just straight up said, yes, we support this bill because we want to keep trans resources away from children. Wow. We want to, it went viral when they tweeted it because they pretty much just said it. They were just like, we don't want, trans youth to be able to get counseling, to be able to get gender affirming care. And it's just out of pure bigotry. And, and it's evil, really.
Yes,
it's just straight up evil what they're doing.
And it's right out of the frickin' Nazi playbook. And I just went on the Heritage Foundation website, and it's all anti-trans stuff now too.
It's the newest scapegoat. Yeah. It's the newest scapegoat, and it's an easier target than just the broader LGBTQ IA community, because so many people honestly, I think just so many people don't really understand
That's it.
what it means to be transgender. They don't
right.
understand, and they don't. And I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm probably not, but I listen. Like I
Right.
listen to the trans community. I try to learn about it. I try to, just be a decent ally. So
Yeah.
I took the 2 minutes it takes to realize that, gender affirming care is a very, very
Yes.
broad area. And it's not, I mean, the oversimplifications that they make on the right wing are just straight up
Right.
not true. Like
Of
they're just
course.
straight up lies. That They want people to believe that an 8-year-old kid goes into a school
Right.
counselor's office and they say, "Hey, I'm confused," and they say,
Right.
"Right this way, Timmy," and then
Yes.
2 hours later, Timmy is surgically
Right.
Jane. That's not happening. That's not what it is.
I want to
That's
be a
not
girl.
what it is.
Okay, you're right this way.
Right this
And-
way. I mean, that's not happening, and it's so
No.
insulting to that community.
Right.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
just so insulting.
Yeah.
But there are people who honestly believe that,
know.
and they think that's what gender affirming care is.
I know.
And it's like, okay, you're really, you're
right.
it's ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous. But also that's what makes it, I mean, this is why we have to respond to all of these attacks, because it's almost like people sort of like, who will believe this shit? But they do believe
They
it.
do, when you repeat it often enough,
Yes.
and they repeat it enough on Fox News.
I know.
And all the cable. It's not just Fox News. MSNBC
Right.
does it to
Oh,
an
yeah.
extent. CNN does it. I mean, they all do it. Or
Right.
they do like a lesser degree of it. They do it more subtle in like a dog whistle way. They might not come out and be like, there's litter boxes in a classroom because a kid
Right.
thinks they're a cat.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, never happened.
Exactly.
But there's a little more of a subtle, even like the way Bill Maher did it. When Bill Maher was just like, well, there's more transgender people now. Why is that? Well, because
it's like,
because they feel a little more comfortable.
Yes. I mean,
There's been
how the
transgender people throughout history,
Yeah,
Bill.
exactly. And, I'm just looking at one of the articles here at the Heritage Foundation site. Says how big tech turns kids trans, which is not,
my
that
God.
is not a fucking thing. That
No.
is not a thing. And
No,
it
it's
says the
not.
spike in teens using social media and identifying as transgender is not a coincidence. Today, so it's
ridiculous.
like as if, I mean, could
It's the same arguments they made in the 70s.
Of
It's
course.
the same thing. It's just
turns
repackaged.
kids trans. Like, no kid is going to be like, you cannot talk somebody into being trans. You're either trans or you're not. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like being gay. This is the same.
It's the same
argument.
thing.
Yes,
It's the
that they
same
said. You're
thing.
just making kids gay. Oh God, I hate them. I can't handle it. And they're not. I mean, this is right out of the Nazi playbook. It really is. And
Well,
I
yeah,
was-
because they're literally making the registries now.
yes.
I mean, people aren't taking that, I think, as seriously as they should be.
Right.
There is a registry of transgender people in
Wait,
Florida.
hold on.
Oh, that's the music.
Hold on. I know. Hold on. We'll be right back with Ron.
What a
Placone.
nice moment.
Yes, we're back. We're back.
There's a registry. We'll be
There's
right
a
back.
registry. We'll be back in a moment. Yes.
Whenever I hear, I know like it's an overgeneralization of the radio world, but like whenever I hear the play out music, I do think of the, like kind of the FM Zoo parody type thing. So I just
Right.
picture, I just picture like, there's a registry, and don't
Right.
forget to go tonight at Jimmy's Gentlemen's Club, 25% off.
right. If you're on the registry, you get drink
That's
free.
our kind of registry. It's a nice one. Jimmy's
My
Gentlemen's
God.
Club.
Right. Well,
But,
there are
yeah.
also, these. That's. I'm sure I had Tom Hartman on the show on Wednesday. We were talking about this too because he was mentioning how there's a documentary on Netflix called El Dorado, and it's all about the Nazis, how they targeted the trans community first, and
Oh yeah,
they
They went after that sex research center.
Mm-hmm,
I didn't know there was a documentary about it. I'd be curious to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same. And here's the thing that's funny, it's like that old saying, like first they came for the communists, I did not speak out, then they came.
Yep.
Well, you look at Florida as one example.
Uh-huh.
Well, first they came for the transgender community. Now they're going after the communists and the socialists.
That's
I mean,
it.
there was that thing the other day when Rick Scott was like, "If you're a socialist and a communist, don't come here."
Oh God,
It's
please. It's
Which
like,
noted.
please. Yeah,
Noted.
exactly.
Believe
And
me, I would not be going to Florida if I would. I actually tweeted about that, and I'm like, look, unless I'm booked on like a really good show or I'm doing a film or something, don't worry, I'm not gonna be in Florida,
Right.
Rick. You don't have to worry about that. And somebody was just like, are you saying that you wouldn't go to Florida unless you were being paid? And that was like a gotcha attempt. And I just thought, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that? Yes,
Is
that's
there
exactly.
something wrong with that?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
unless I had a work obligation,
right.
I would
Unless
not go
I
there.
had to go. Yes.
Yeah.
Why would you go?
And I'd
mean,
love to do shows there. It's one of my favorite states to perform in the country. I love performing in Florida. And a lot of the cities are really great. But the way that state is being run right now is beyond frightening.
I know. It is
and it's
frightening.
not alone. It's not alone. But
Right.
it's like, yeah, unless it was work related, which I guess, I mean, shows count as work related. But
Yes,
unless
of
it was for
course.
something like that, I wouldn't go there on vacation.
Right, right. Well, I don't know if you know this. They, speaking of trans people and registries, I think it was in Tennessee, I think the Attorney General of Tennessee just demanded that hospitals turn over all of their records
Yeah,
of
Tennessee did something
yeah.
like that, and Mississippi did as well.
Yeah, of people
Mississippi is trying to get records of. First of all, they're trying to get records of anyone who leaves the state for abortion care.
Unbelievable.
And they're also trying, and that again, online surveillance makes this possible for them to do that. That's why, when we talk about data privacy bills and we talk about, like these dystopian bills that blow end-to-end encryption, where that makes your messages more vulnerable. This is why this is important. All the stuff we're talking about right now, this is why, again, please, people, if you're concerned about what we're talking about, the digital space plays a big role in all of this. So go to badinternetbills.com, please, and sign that petition. It is one thing you can do right away that can make a big difference, because they're not going to try any dirty tricks if they know we're paying attention.
That's it. That's it. And what is this? Let me see. The Restrict Act addresses privacy and security.
Well,
this
that was
is about
the one.
TikTok.
Yeah, that
Right.
was the one that was commonly referred to as the Don't Ban TikTok bill. Which, by the way, banning TikTok would have just been one of many things that ridiculous piece of legislation would have done. That bill in particular would have blown a hole in the Berman amendments, which means that the whoever is president could decide what news you could and couldn't see if it's from outside the United States. So, Donald Trump or Joe Biden or whoever else could just be like, yeah, you don't get to see the BBC anymore. I decided. You don't get to see, like whatever. Like it's nuts what that legislation would do. So, yeah. Again, badinternetbills.com. You can read a summary of each one of these horrific pieces of legislation. And rumor has it, I don't know if this will happen, but, like maybe there will be maybe in the future there will be a website for, decent internet bills. I'm not sure. But
that might be nice.
that would be neat. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not, like I'm just kind of speculating here. But yeah.
Please. Are there any decent internet bills? I mean, do you know of it?
Well, there's net neutrality.
Right.
Net neutrality, OMA and ACOA, the antitrust bills that we really fought for, and unfortunately we lost that one, but, we fought like hell for it. But, yeah, OMA, ACOA, net neutrality, municipal broadband bills and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there. I mean, we had a broadband bill that was signed into law here in California.
Oh, okay.
That, basically laid the groundwork, no pun intended, for some decent infrastructure. So it does happen. It's not all it's not all bad. Sometimes you want them to vote yes on things too, but more often than not, you want them to vote no.
So what's happening with the FCC? Are you up on that too?
I think it looks like Anna Gomez is probably going to be confirmed. I mean, she got through committee with no problem, and so they just have to schedule the vote. And chances are she will get through. And she has, the big thing with her is she's so private, which in some ways that's a good thing, because that means, there's not going to be a big smear campaign against her like there was with Gigi Sohn. But in some ways that's also a not so great thing, because you're kind of wondering, like, well, is she going to vote the way we want her to? Because, it's like, well, she does have some, like telecom experience. Is she going to go to the mat for net neutrality? But she has kind of made her positions clear that it's like, yes, she would be a yes vote for net neutrality.
Well,
And
that's good. How
that's
come
the most
they're not-
important thing, you know. I don't know if she'll be the most exciting FCC commissioner in the history of ever, but she is committed to a free and open internet, and I'll take it. That's great. So.
And why aren't they going after her like they went after Gigi Sohn? Do you know?
Because she doesn't have. I mean, well, let's be honest. Homophobia is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about. I mean, I don't know Anna Gomez's sexuality.
Right,
I have no
right.
idea because she's pretty private. But Gigi Sohn was openly gay, and Gigi Sohn also tweeted some controversial things, like she supports Black
Right,
Lives Matter
that's
and doesn't
true.
like Fox News. So controversial. She's not a fan of Fox News.
Right.
So they just had a big smear campaign against her. You know, they just were able, like there was some low hanging. I don't know if low hanging fruit is the right way to put it, but there were some things that they were able to spin. She's actually not. I mean, and I like Gigi Sohn. She's an excellent. She's an excellent advocate in that space, but she's not some like radical
Right.
leftist political. I mean, I'm way to the left of her politically.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know. Well, that's what's
but it's
so,
not.
I mean-
you know, but it's not relevant. And it's like who cares? I mean, she's an FCC commissioner. Like I'm concerned about how she would do that job,
Right.
and she is excellent for that job, and she has been excellent in that space. And she was an excellent candidate, and it's really sad what happened. It's beyond sad what happened.
Yeah, it's just a
But,
disgrace what happened.
Hopefully we get that yes vote anyway with Anna Gomez, and yeah.
Right. Well, that's good news at least. So yeah. But
It's something.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, Tara, thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Thank
Yeah, it's
you,
always a
of
pleasure.
course.
And again, if I could reiterate, please go to badinternetbills.com. And also mention to all your listeners, I don't know how many international folks you got, but I will
we
be in
got some.
Edinburgh. Well, I'll be in Edinburgh in August. So
Oh.
if you're going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival,
Nice.
I will be there August 16th through 27th. And then for any Southern California Tarabuster listeners,
Nice.
I will be in my neighborhood of San Pedro on October 21st. I'm doing a series, so I'm not the only
Get
comic on
outta
that
here.
bill. Yeah, it's a headliner
t-
series.
Get the hell out
First
of here.
headliner is Stephanie Blum. So you can go to ronplacone.com for all tickets and information.
Very nice, Ron. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. We'll be right back. Hold on. All right, see?
Yeah,
good
I love how
timing,
that.
good
Yeah,
timing.
that was perfect. Yeah. well, thank you for having
All right,
me.
my friend.
Badinternetbills.com,
Yes.
everybody. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'll see you later, guy.
All right. Peace.
Bye-bye. Peace. Peace out. Ron Placone, everybody. The amazing. Hold on, my neck is... I'm just getting distracted by something. All right. What time is it anyway? What's happening, everybody? Are we still here? I almost hung up the whole show for a second there by accident. Thank goodness I didn't. So good. All right, listen. My neck, I got a crook in my neck here. So, let me see. What time is it? Just making sure. We're okay. We got all right. We got half the show. That was a quick hit and run there. Unlike Tom Hartman, who stuck around for 30 minutes. But that's okay. Let's get back to, what do you want to, shall we get back to perjury? The perjury Trader Green and the rest of the freak show. We got some more freaks to talk about here. All right, hold on a second. All right, back. Where are we? All right, let me see. Where do we begin again? Here's one thing. Let's start here. Okay? Nothing says... Wait a minute. Nothing says freedom like mandatory flag salutes and mandatory... mandatory displays of so-called patriotism. So here's an article that I came across from The Guardian. This housing community requires patriots, quote unquote, to fly the United States flag. Okay. So you see, what we talk about on the show is that Republicans, they are, they don't really understand what patriotism is. They're really into the symbols of patriotism because the substance is really way over their heads. Oh, wait, I still have Ron Placone's lower third up. Okay. So a developer in North Carolina, for homeowners, a homeowner, a home, what do you call it? A housing community for 55 and older, says his brand is only the beginning of a movement. So the June 17th groundbreaking of the future suburban neighborhood in Gastonia, North Carolina, had all the trappings of a campaign rally. Brock Fankhauser, the real estate developer of 1776 Gastonia. You see how patriotic these people are with their mandatory flags and mandatory flag salutes. 1776 Gastonia waved to onlookers from the open top of a sport utility vehicle. Okay, video footage of the event shows a crane dangling a giant U.S. flag over the site where 43 lots are for sale. Parcels range from $17,000 to $75,000. And homes cost from $500,000 and blah, blah, blah. Okay. There will be even more flags. This development, which the company has described as, listen to this, without a hint of irony, where freedom lives, is for homeowners 55 and older. Where freedom lives. Freedom, everyone. Except you're, not free to not openly and I guess ostentatiously fly your flags. You gotta fly flags because, you're free. You're free. I guess you're free not to live there. That's what they would say. But, this whole freedom thing is very out of their wheelhouse, the Republicans. Really, where else do you see forced salutes and forced outward displays of patriotism? What countries come to mind when you are thinking of mandatory flag salutes? I think of North Korea. I think of Nazi Germany. All of these countries that aren't free. And as Milton Mayer, who wrote the famous book, They Thought They Were Free, that was written after World War II about the, about the good Germans, how the good Germans allowed this authoritarian destruction of their democratic system. But I'm sure they all thought they were very patriotic too. And I'm not just speculating. I know that's what they thought. And I always remember a story, and I've told the story before, about someone who survived Nazi Germany, where he was watching, first of all, he was describing how the outward displays of patriotism became, of course, more and more prevalent. And the Hitler Youth was constantly, on parade, and if the Hitler, and here's an interesting thing, when the Hitler Youth would parade, everything had to stop. You all had to stop. You had to stop and salute. So at this story, I remember from one of the documentaries I watched. I've watched a million documentaries about Nazi Germany, but where one of these parades was going by, and a guy was just standing there, and the Hitler Youth stepped out of the formation and smacked the guy across the face and said, "Salute the flag." All right. And now, if you can't imagine that happening here, you're not paying attention, really. You have not been paying attention. It starts with mandatory flag salutes or mandatory flag waving or flying. You know, if you want to fly the flag, go right ahead. But to say that you're living in a free community that demands outward displays of so-called patriotism, when you're in a it's called, I mean, without a hint of irony, you're calling it the free neighborhood of wherever the hell, let me see, the free where freedom lives. That's what they're calling it, where freedom lives. Except you're not free. You see, that's fascism in a nutshell. You're free within the constraints that they provide for you. You're free to do what they tell you to do. You're free to marry who they tell you. You're free to live the life they dictate for you. You're not free to be your authentic self. You're not free to form a legal marriage contract with a person that may have the same pee-pee, right? You're free within their very narrow constraints, and that's not freedom, you know. And the motto of Republicans should be the beatings will continue until morale improves, of course. But, you know, they're just, you know, because that's what they got in store for us. They are just, they lack the fundamental ability to live in a free society, as all of this, as their antics are testament to. So, let's see. When asked how the community will define patriotism, Frankhauser responded obliquely that patriotism is a mountain landscape. We're in a valley right now, he said, and to the extent that I can have any impact whatsoever on bringing us from this valley towards a peak, it would give me tremendous satisfaction. By flying a flag without a clue what that flag represents. You see, if this guy had any clue what freedom and the flag supposedly or should represent, he would not have, you know, concocted this this community with mandatory flags, flag salutes, flag flying. And then calling that patriotism and freedom is the, you know, really, it's right out of, you know, it's right out of Orwell. So, yeah, just flying a flag. What is? Let me explain what patriotism is when we get back. Not that you need it; they do, though. So for the Republicans, let me explain, you know, what is patriotism? Patriotism is leaving no one behind, you know? Patriotism is we're in this together. It is paying your taxes. So we all get, you know, I mean, ultimately, if this were a functioning democracy, people like Trump would pay more than $750 in taxes, and then those taxes would go into a general fund, which would educate our youth. We would have there would be no good schools and bad schools. There would just be great American schools, all funded and teaching actual history of this country, so we could become a more perfect union, so we could rectify our sins of the past, or at least work on them, you know, and we could set ourselves up for success in the future, and not just living in this mythical past that never existed during the time you say it existed. It never existed at all. You know, freedom means being free to get gender affirming care. It's freedom and success. You know, it means being paid a living wage in decent working conditions and then retiring in dignity and security. That's freedom. It's not having to send your kids to work. I can't even believe we are literally discussing the end of child labor laws in certain parts of this country. And now, as we know, Republicans in Florida are teaching, you know, they're completely bastardizing history because they hate America. They don't want to teach the real history. They don't want us to be a more perfect union. They want to teach bullshit and drag us back to the times that we've already overcome. And I'm sure you've heard and read that Republicans in Florida that the schools, I mean, it's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. I know that's one of Trump's favorite words, disgrace. Well, they should know, because it's a goddamn disgrace what these right-wingers are up to. But they want to, well, it's past. What am I talking about? So in Florida, the Florida implements a curriculum that teaching that black people gained personal benefit from slavery. Well, because I guess, you know, the white slave owner, their white, you know, kidnapper, they were just teaching them the dignity of work, right? They were giving them skills. And the other offensive thing is that, for example, if you teach about the Tulsa race riot, or race massacre, I should say, then you have to teach that black people also committed violence. So not only were black people targeted and murdered, but you have to teach that they were also aggressors. I mean, how fragile, how weak and pathetic these right-wingers really are. They really are pathetic. They can't handle reality. And I argue the fact that they are doing this, the fact that they refuse to teach our actual history, it really is indicative of the fact that they hate America, you see, and they don't want America to succeed. They want America to be, they want America to be first of all, not to be at the forefront of leadership in the world. They want America to fall behind and to be a laughing stock. I guess, you know, it's really insulting too, because they you know, if you're a white person and you live in Florida and you want to send your kids to school, I mean, you should be insulted that they think your kids and they think you are this fragile and stupid, and that you don't deserve, that you can't handle the actual history of this country. You can't handle the history of conflict and the you just can't handle it. It's too much for your fragile snowflake self. I mean, that's an insult. Really, I mean, the Republicans should really speak for themselves, you know, but they, of course, inflict their manias outward. And this is what they do. You know, for people, this is the thing. They're such whiny little fragile snowflakes. And they were constantly, and they do it all the time, saying how everybody is, everyone likes to shove things down their throats, right? And it's like Freud will, of course, has a field day with these people, but Wait, hold on a second. But who's shoving things down our throats? They're the ones who shove things down our throats, of course. Shoving this inanity, this offense down our throats. That's what they do. They are, and they really, as always, they disgrace themselves. They think that, you know what it is? It really is that they are, they're trying to make more conservative voters. These are the people that are like, oh, Joe Biden, he wants to bring in illegals to make more Democratic voters. But the Republicans want young people to be stupid enough to vote Republican. So, they are, but here's what I got to say. It's that here's the thing. They don't seem to understand that this ship has sailed. So we've already evolved. Young people are not buying this bullshit. And we all know how ridiculous the Republicans are. They're not gonna look good, not only in history's light, but they're not gonna look good in the light of the present. And this, is only gonna last so long. They're not gonna, get away with it. As soon as we can, and as soon as we have the opportunity, we will overcome this bullshit, and the country will be better off for it, because we're not going back. As much as they want to drag us back, we're not going there. But Republicans are just whiny little bitches who can't handle diversity. They are opposed to decency. They hate democracy. Come on, prove me wrong. Here, for example, as we were talking about trans people, we can't stress enough that their attacks on the trans community is right out of the Nazi playbook. So, so anyway, which is even more reason why we need to remain ever vigilant and never back down from these freaks. Oh, wait, hold on a second. One of the things I wanted to mention about the Florida teaching that slavery was a good thing. I just wanted to, I came across this article. Where the hell was it? Yeah. Here we go. And some of the articles, this is what gets on my nerves about the mainstream corporate media, and why I ask people to support the real liberal media. And thank you for doing it, because this. Hold on. Here's Boudica. Hi, Booty. What are you doing, Booty? Booty. We will win, Booty. Oh my God, that's the end of the Progressive Voices part of the show. But what I was going to say is that the mainstream media is reporting this Florida bullshit slavery bill as critics oppose. Critics oppose it. No. It's not critics. It's patriots, normal people. Critics oppose it? Yeah, anybody with a brain, anybody who loves America, loves decency, dignity, democracy. All right, we will win. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Check out badinternetbills.com. And there you go. Yes, Booty does make it all better, Pookie's mommy. Booty, where'd you go, Booty? Booty. Oh, she's over there with Francis now. She's the boss. Boudica is the boss around here, I think. It's good. She gets them in line. She gets my boys in line here. Boudica is coming. All right. So, okay. So here, where the hell is it? And that's what irritated me. Okay, the saying that critics oppose this. What do you mean critics? Anybody who is not a fascist opposes this fake ass curriculum. That's an insult to anyone with a brain, a mind, a soul. It's an insult to the present. It's an insult to the past. It's an insult to anybody who ever fought on the side of decency, dignity, democracy. It's an insult to anyone who ever gave their life for America. All the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy. It's an insult. Jesus Christ. But that, I guess, Republicans, triggering the libs. That triggers the libs, and that means it's okay. So, okay, triggering it should trigger everybody. All right, where is this? So, Charles Barkley. Republicans are very upset. See, Charles Barkley, speaking of, Republican snowflakes, they, where the fuck is it? Charles Barkley, he came out and he defends the LGBT community's right to exist, and the poor little Republican snowflakes lose their minds. Wait, hold on. What is going on with my camera? Everything is... There we go. Let's play this again.
I want y'all to drink this fucking beer. I want y'all to drink this fucking beer.
He's talking about Bud Light.
I got 3 cases of Bud Light. Hey, and I want to say this. If you're gay, bless you. If you're transgender, bless you. And if you have a problem with that, fuck you.
Okay, so they didn't like that. Here's some of the responses. The little snowflakes are very upset. So Fox News' Mark Levin says, Charles Barkley can go to hell. Let him drink all the Bud Light he wants. And he also writes, I used to like this guy. They're very upset that Charles Barkley, is defending other human beings' rights to exist without being abused and targeted and attacked and vilified and legislated against and hounded into... I guess Republicans don't want trans people to exist, but the fact is, trans people have always existed and will always exist, whether they like it or not. So let's see. Fox News host Jesse Waters said, "What happened to Charles? The last minute he signs with CNN and he turns into Don Lemon? Isn't that hilarious?" So, yeah, these little Blaze TV podcast host suggested that somebody told celebrities like Barkley to support LGBT rights. He wrote, "I still enjoy Charles Barkley and I have a great deal of respect for him, but I'm seeing Charles and all celebrities and influencers pivot, and it's like somebody has stressed to them that supporting the alphabet mafia is central to their success." So you see, it's when LGBTQ people want to exist, you're somehow infringing on the Republican right to, I guess, beat you into obscurity or submission. They really are sick right-wingers. I gotta ask again, do they bring anything to the table? What do Republicans bring to the table? They really don't have anything to offer except fascism, which is, if that's what you want, I guess. If you're a bigot, if you're a homophobe, if you're in the closet, if you hate yourself and you hate other Americans and you hate humanity, and you lack the basic maturity, decency to function in a democratic society, a free democratic society, yeah, I guess that's what they got. They got something for you. Wait, hold on. They really, I heard this thing about pickup trucks boxing in. I was listening to Tom Hartman earlier, and he brought this up, that pickup trucks are harassing, not the pickup trucks, the assholes driving the pickup trucks are harassing drivers of electric vehicles. So a Tesla driver shares disturbing video after being harassed by pickup trucks. And, it's just yet another example of Republicans. Not only do they bring nothing to the table, they bring worse than nothing to the table. They are unfit to function in a decent society. Here's the video that the Tesla driver shared of these assholes. Being boxed in. It says, taking my Model 3 out on the road trip, and these three assholes form a blockade in front of me and send all their fumes in my direction. It should be illegal. Like, why? Why? Where does it go wrong in your mind, in your soul, to behave like that? It's baffling to me. You're trying to harm somebody. What is it? You just don't like that others are evolving? You don't like clean energy? What is it? You're just an asshole? And Republicans, this is the thing. They give right-wingers the permission to be as disgusting as they are. They have no stopgaps anymore. There's nobody telling them to behave like a normal, citizen who, if you don't want an electric car, fuck off. Don't get one. Leave people the hell alone. Why must you? Oh, okay. So he's not emitting any, you're not adding anything to global warming. So you have to hit him with a pollution cloud. It's unbelievable to me. But this is Republicans. Being a Republican means never learning, never evolving, never challenging yourself to have to just function as a decent person. Just, if you can't be decent, just shut up. Just shut your mouth and keep driving. You don't like Tesla? Whatever. I don't like Elon Musk. I wouldn't buy a Tesla if I had a gun to my head at this point. But I'm not. I have an electric car. I'm not. I wouldn't buy a gas car at this point. I mean, I have a hybrid, I should say. It doesn't. Yeah, whatever. I just, this is the future. And Republicans simply can't keep up. This is the problem. They can't keep up, so they have to drag us backwards. And their world sucks. We've been in their world. We're trying to, we want to live in a clean environment. We don't want to live with your filth anymore. We know the consequences of your filthy inaction, right-wingers, and this is the thing. We're in the consequences of climate change right now. It's all over. The world is dealing with it, and it's yet another example, of everything that Republicans touch, they destroy. They bring nothing. They can't even drive down the goddamn highway without acting like an asshole. Now, if you would act like this, if a child behaves like that, you punish the child. The child would be disciplined somehow, right? There would be consequences to the child. But when a grown-ass man behaves like that, he votes Republican. Do you get the Republicans get to they get a microphone stuck in their face and say, "Hey, what are you thinking now? Who you want to pick? Ron DeSantis or Trump? Who's on your dance card?" As if these people have anything to offer. Besides, the Dark Ages. I don't know. It's just filth. They're just absolute filth, and there are no consequences. And, they're going after Bud Light. You probably saw DeSantis. Hey, this is what they do. You want to talk about the weaponization of government? DeSantis is going after Bud Light. They don't like Bud Light. We know, because these little triggered little snowflakes, they don't like Bud Light because as part of a campaign, an advertising campaign, this beer also sold wants to appeal to the trans community or their supporters, not just trans, LGBT and straight allies, right? So on an influencer campaign, that's it. They hired this Dylan, I don't even know her last name. Dylan, what's her name? Bud Light. She's just a trans person that has a lot of Instagram followers. And they paid her to do a little commercial that said, "Hey, I like Bud Light." So fucking what? They sell to trans people. They sell to gay people. They sell to all kinds of people. Why don't you shut your filthy mouth, Republicans? But they can't have that. You see? Oh, Dylan Mulvaney. Incredible. So, in order to punish Bud Light, DeSantis is now, he is ordering a probe into Bud Light's deal with trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Can you believe this? Talk about the weaponization of government, right? These are the fascists that invented the weaponization of government. Are you kidding me? If it weren't, what else is government for? If you're a right-winger, this is what they do with government. They don't use government to help people. They don't use it to promote the general welfare or to expand health care or expand living wages, retirement. They don't do it. They don't do a damn thing to help, make the working poor, not to lift the working poor out of poverty. They do nothing. Yeah, according to them, government is there to weaponize. It's not there to, listen to Perjury, Trade, or Grain. Government doesn't exist to help people have a more, not just more perfect union, but the pursuit of happiness. They hate government. The only reason a government is formed, if you're a Republican, is to weaponize it, to turn it against the politically unconnected and vulnerable. Those who need a hand up or protection from the government, forget it. So it's just unbelievable how these people, without a hint of irony or they have no, it's because they have no shame. And I'm so sick of looking at Ron DeSantis's open mouth, his face, his open, his hung dog flapping jaws, his slack-jawed fascist, pudding fingers. Ron DeSantis has told government to investigate whether Bud Light's parent company breached its duties to shareholders as a conservative backlash continues to rage over the beer brand's deal with transgender social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney. I mean, can you believe how triggered these people are by this influencer? And it goes to show you that, just how much we need we need people like Dylan Mulvaney. DeSantis, who is running for the Republican presidential nomination, instructed Lamar Taylor, the interim executive director of the State Board of Administration, to immediately launch a review into how AB InBev's conduct, AB InBev's, I guess that's the company. Yeah, that's what it is. AB InBev. Anheuser-Busch. Oh, okay. That's the symbol, AB InBev. Has impacted and continues to impact the value of SBA. So what a scumbag. Really. It's incredible. Where the hell is it? Hold on. DeSantis. Let's see. Here it is.
We're going to be launching an inquiry about Bud Light and InBev, and it could be something that leads to a derivative lawsuit filed on behalf of the shareholders of the Florida pension fund, because at the end of the day, there's got to be penalties for when you put business aside to focus on your social agenda at the expense of
business aside. You're not putting business aside when you're advertising to a community. You're trying to get the LGBT community to spend money on your product. That's not putting business aside. That's actually good business. It's inclusive business. And why wouldn't you want to be? So the weaponization of the government crowd, the Republicans, they want to stick their big, filthy Republican nose into a corporation's private business. I thought that they were all about freedom. You're not free to advertise to a certain community, much less be a member of that community. We do live in incredibly frightening times. And just knowing and watching them go after the trans people is absolutely unacceptable, and even more the reason why we need to strongly Just saying that word. You see how Trump ruins everything? Strongly. Very strongly. We need to strongly and powerfully stand with our trans brothers and sisters. Without apology. Even more, this is what's so depressing. When they went after Target, the filthy, disgusting Republicans went after Target, and Target backed down. You don't back down to these pricks. Never, ever give them an inch, or this is what you get. See, the way I end the show every week, we will win. We will win because we already have won. We've already won. They might be able to flex their filthy fascist muscles right now, but that's not going to last. It will not last that long. And unfortunately, in the meantime, people are going to get hurt. And they are hurt. And they continue to get hurt. But we're going to win. So, hold on one second. It's just absolutely incredible. And I'm sure you saw, they're going after trans people. They're going after women. In Texas, women they're suing Texas. Wait, hold on a second. Oh, this is the other thing I meant to talk about too. But the women in Texas, some women in Texas, see, Republicans are disgusting. They hate life. They hate birth. I mean, they love birth. They hate life. And that's all they're about, is control. If they were truly anti-abortion, they would not promote policies that increase the abortion rate, which is what they do. So not only are they increasing the abortion rate, they're forcing women to undergo and endure traumatic experiences. And it's unconscionable. But still, you might have seen it. Women are testifying in Texas about this abortion ban cruelty, reliving these horrific experiences that Republicans are forcing women and the pregnancy. They give birth to a deformed baby that they know that they've been told by the doctor. They knew that the child is not going to live past not even a half an hour, and then the woman is forced to endure watching this pregnancy, this child that she had to give birth to, suffer for its short the minutes of life that it suffers on this earth. And Republicans think this is pro-life. What they're doing is causing women to not be able to have any more children. They're putting women and families through these traumatic experiences. They're costing women and their families money, of course, because we have a for-profit healthcare system. And it's just disgusting. And women are suing Texas about the abortion ban. Here's some of them.
I just kept telling myself and my baby that I'm so sorry that this had to happen to you.
It's incredible.
I was so sorry that I couldn't help her and release her going to heaven sooner rather than later. I felt so bad. She had no mercy. There was no mercy there for her.
My parents and Josh's parents flew in from Indiana because they were afraid that it might be the last time they'd see me.
I don't feel safe to have children in Texas anymore.
No, why would you?
I know that it was very clear that my health didn't really matter, but my daughter's health didn't really matter.
Jesus
and
Christ.
That's heartbreaking.
I know that what happened to me is happening to people all across the country, not just in Texas, all over the country. So many people are being hurt by similar restrictive bans.
That's the Republican way. You know, you're seeing Republicanism in action right here, guys. Crying, trauma, pain, needless suffering. That's the Republican way. They're so full of shit. I don't know how they could even, function. How they could walk, how they could put one foot in front of the other. They're so weighed down with bullshit. Everything about them is useless and a fraud. If only they were pro-life. If only. We wouldn't be dealing with this. We would have abortion, abortion, we would have abortion. It wouldn't be illegal in these states. We would have bodily autonomy. We would have economic security. We would have universal health care if they were pro-life. Because these are the policies that actually reduce the abortion rate. All they want to do is increase suffering. And they're very successful at that. They increase suffering, division. They increase ignorance. Show me an example of anything, any topic, any subject where a Republican policy brings light, brings understanding, brings unity. How's that? Anything? Anybody? Oh, sure, if you go to a Trumpanzee rally, they all unify around hate and targeting specific minority groups. Right now, trans people, less than 1% of the population. But where do you see Republicans? Do they ever bring understanding? They don't want to understand. And in fact, they want ignorance. They want to spread ignorance so badly that the ones who do understand, the ones who have a clue, will never speak up. They'll never say, hey, whoa, wait a minute, guys. I know I have the answer to this question here, and it's not what you guys are thinking. Absolutely not. They go right along with the ignorance. Mandatory ignorance. It's the cult. You got to have mandatory flag salutes, mandatory ignorance, mandatory, subjugation, conformity, blindness to the truth. Oh God. Can we get to the part where these people are in the rearview mirror already, and in the dustbin of history where they belong? Really? Well, according to the Daily Kos, Florida is trying to defend its new Black History standards. I'm sure you saw that Vice President Harris went to Florida today and said just yesterday in the state of Florida, they decided middle school students will be taught that enslaved people benefited from slavery. And they insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we won't stand for it. Well, that's the good news. We won't stand for it. They will appeal, and they are appealing to that very small segment of the population. The authoritarian followers, the fascists, the Nazis, the deplorables that Hillary so accurately described. Yeah. I don't know why we talked about this the other day too. Why did she apologize for that? This is Democrats, though. You don't apologize for being right. It's unreal. But, so, let's see. They're going to defend this? They want to, but, you know, what's his name? DeSantis wants to make, what's his statement? Make America Florida? Yeah, right. Florida doesn't want to be Florida. Are you kidding me? I feel bad for people in Florida. I know some people who are living in Florida. Black people living in Florida. How? What's so disgusting is that, you know, and it's sort of like what's so disgusting when the con man was elected in 2016, despite receiving fewer votes, it's the realization of how stupid some Americans are. And that's at that time when the con man was elected, despite receiving fewer votes. That was what was so depressing for me, was seeing how racist and dumb so many people are. And there it was, you know, right, staring us in the face. And then it only got worse. But what's the excuse now? You know, these people are racist and dumb. And they're going to vote for this? They still vote for this. They condone this. Some people want this because they don't really like America. They don't understand America. That's why they have to manipulate the definition of what America is, what this thing is all about, the freedom, what freedom is all about, what a constitutionally limited democratic republic is all about, a nation of immigrants, a nation of laws that apply for all, right? Or apply to all. And a diverse nation of immigrants that was birthed in the age of the liberal age of enlightenment. They don't understand. They hate that. They absolutely hate that. And they do. Jim on the chat, they believe in demons. Yes, they do. And they want to change this country into the system that the founders fought a revolution to escape. In fact, I see the time is coming to an end, but I am right before we went on air, I came across this. I came across a video of this pastor, but this is nothing new. On Right Wing Watch, this pastor, Christian nationalist pastor Bill Cook, he's calling for to eliminate the wall of separation between church and state, saying that government of God should be instituted throughout every square inch of earth. Okay? What does that mean? Government of God? That's not what this America thing is supposed to be. It is how confused the Republicans really are is in a statement like this. But that's not just one guy. It's not just one outlier saying this. It's, we have multiple clips of people saying this. We have Lauren Boebert, perjury trader Green, saying things like that. I'm tired of this separation of church and state junk, which is the entire foundation of our secular government. It just betrays their absolutely bottomless ignorance and their inability to function in this kind of modern society. That's what it's all about. That's why they need a Donald Trump to save them from the scary, complex world of others who don't know their place. That's it. They want everyone in their place. They need the hierarchy. They want white men at the top. They like the fiction of America because the facts have such a liberal bias, right? Well, there you go. Another Tarabuster in the books. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Thank you for the patronage, guys, at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you, Ron Placone, for hanging out and spreading the good news about the good news that we can do something about bad internet bills by going to badinternetbills.com. So, remember, we will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. My name is Tara Devlin. If you can, support the show, please do. I'll see you soon. All right. Guys. I see. What did you say? Who just said that Boebert's going to get pummeled in the next election? Where did I just see that? Who said that? Oh, Haiku. I hope you're right, Haiku. She only... we could be in such a different world right now. If not for the filthy, disgusting court in New York that didn't allow the map, a map of, they blocked the Democrats from drawing the map of the district map in New York. That's what gave us the likes of George Santos, which he'll be gone next election. And then who else will be gone? Well, we had some wins in that department as far as the Supreme Court, who suck and needs the illegitimate Supreme Court, as we know, but they didn't do what I expected them to do, which was to completely destroy the Democratic chances of having a free and fair election. And anyway, all right, Lauren Boebert, that's right. She only won by 525 votes, so I hope she gets pummeled. She needs to be. I hope Perjury Trader Green gets pummeled. Who votes for her? Who votes for someone so horrible like that Perjury Trader Green? Right, Booty? Come here, honey. Booty. Booty. Come here, Booty. Come here, Booty. Oh, Booty. I got you. I got you, Booty. Look at Booty. I know, Booty Cat. Boudica. She's a good girl. She purrs a lot. Can you hear her? No, it's a little low. She's just a kitten. All right, honey. You go, girl. Be free. Run, Booty, run. All right, listen up, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I want to thank you for everything. I don't know what I'd do without you. Really, I'm not kidding. And, yeah, we will have a show this week, hopefully. I'm not sure what day, but I don't know. Francis is sleeping, yes. Where is he? There he is. Hey, Frank. Hey, Franny. Good baby. All right, my friends. Thank you so... Yeah, she's getting big, right, Booty? She's a big girl. Not anymore. Not big. What am I saying? She's gonna be small, but she is getting big. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I was looking at pictures of her, and she was so small that when I had my hand, her head was here and her tail was there. So she was just as wide, her body was as wide as my hand, and she's she's gotten a lot bigger. But she's a good girl. She was a tiny little thing, and she's still small. I hope she stays small. She will stay small. I think she'll be small. All right, listen, I gotta go. I'm tired. I need to go lay down. I need to, I don't know. Is there some TV show on that I can be distracted? Anything to distract me from my life. You know? All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jim, for your super chat. If you can become a patron, we know it. Please do. And remember, where's Ray Ray? I don't know. Ray Ray. Ray Ray. Where's Ray Ray? Ray Ray. He's not listening to me. He's probably in the bedroom. And I will see you guys. I'll see you. Have a great weekend, a rest of your weekend. And I will see you. Remember to do that thing that Ron talked about. Badinternetbills.com. It doesn't take long. And you know, this is what we got to do. At least we know we're sending the message. It's true. We're watching. And maybe we will win, you know, sooner rather than later. All right, guys. I will see you during the week.